Can you believe it? The honorary employee at McDonald's right now is actually the legendary Demon King Satan himself once. The ruler of the great land of Isla. He commanded power and fear across the entire continent, but not long ago the brave hero led the United Knights in a fierce attack on the Demon King's castle, crushing the Demon King and his four loyal followers. Left with no choice, the Demon King opened a time-space portal and escaped to another world with his companion, the two-headed golden lion, Ashiel. When they opened their eyes again, they found themselves in the human world, their bodies transformed into human forms, unable to speak the language. They were mistaken for foreigners by passing police officers. One of the officers even tried to take the Demon King in for a chat, but then Michelle snapped and lost it. The Demon King used hypnosis to get information about this world and its language from the officer. However, lacking magic power, he could no longer maintain his demonic form. The Demon King asked Michelle how much magic she had left. Is this what they call the legendary taxi summoning ritual to survive in the human world? The Demon King first handled household registration and got himself an ID card, then went ahead and used the money he stole from the police to open a bank account. Why are you guys so good at this kind of paperwork? Due to extreme poverty, the Demon King had to rent a shabby little room. Luckily, the landlady Shama had an amazing figure, a beautiful face, and even offered them a bit of help. After going without food for days, the Demon King fainted from hunger. By evening, that's when they finally realized they'd need money to stay alive. Imagine the mighty Demon King actually having to go out and beg for help. He gave himself the name Mausadawa, and all he had in his fridge was 2 cucumbers and a bottle of milk that was his monthly ration. Soon it was time for work. The Demon King rode off on his beloved Headless Horseman bike to start his shift. Unfortunately, it started raining halfway, and the red-haired girl beside him got soaked. He kindly offered her his umbrella. The Demon King was now working at McDonald's because of his hard-working and meticulous attitude. He earned the affection of his partner, the lowly girl Chiho, and thanks to his excellent performance, he was promoted to A-rank employee. On the way home, he ran into that same red-haired beauty again, and she told him she had actually planned to visit the store to say thank you. Coincidentally, she caught the Demon King trying to use magic to fix a machine. Even though he looked completely different, she had already seen through his real identity, and the Demon King realized she was none other than the hero Amelia. To chase after the fleeing Demon King, Amelia had also followed them into the time-space portal. Just as she said this, she pulled a small knife out of her bag. What is that thing? From the bargain bin at Lopian convenience store. After arriving in the human world, the hero's strength was heavily suppressed, and she could no longer unleash the full power of her holy sword. She still tried to fight the Demon King with her tiny knife, but both of them ended up getting taken to the police station for some stern education, where they were mistaken for a bickering couple. Amelia, refusing to give up, declared that she remembered the Demon King's address and would settle the score next time they met. She even said she had already chopped up the umbrella he gave her. Seriously, who's the real demon here? Unlike the Demon King, who started off broke with nothing, the hero had a god-tier beginning in the human world. Using the name Imisa, she worked as a customer service rep and lived in a fancy apartment. Sofa, TV, appliances, everything was top-notch. Her life was way more comfortable than the Demon King's. That night, the Demon King and Michelle had a lovely dinner, though the smashed cucumber dish did look a bit sad. Then came a knock at the door. It was Amelia. Michelle panicked and quickly locked the door. Poor Ashiel locked outside like a stray. She'd never been treated like this before and immediately started crying by the pot. After the Demon King explained the situation, Michelle reluctantly let her in. Seeing the broken down room, Amelia was shocked. She never expected the Demon King's life to be so pathetic. Back when she chased after him, she had entered the portal with the high priest, but the portal closed midway and only she made it through. Her magic was nearly gone, but still enough to take him down. Yet Amelia planned to use her remaining magic to find a way home. Hearing that the Demon King had no intention of harming her, she smugly shared her grand plan to climb from a part-time worker to store manager, saving money and rising in status until one day she would become a respected big shot. Amelia didn't expect her opponent to be a hardcore middle school syndrome case. She got up and prepared to leave. Oh, well, better just live honestly as a working citizen. The next day, still suspicious, she secretly returned to the Demon King's house to spy on his every move. These two sneaking around must be up to something evil. Huh, they're just buying eggs from the supermarket. The following day, the surveillance continued. What the Demon King shouted about going to battle, but ended up at a bathhouse. After days of following them, she was finally convinced he really was just a struggling corporate slave. After work, Amelia met with the Demon King at their usual spot. She noticed he actually seemed to enjoy this life, and and told him maybe he should just stay here and keep working, stop dreaming about going back and wreaking havoc on Intla. But suddenly, they were attacked out of nowhere, forcing the Love Alliance to run to safety. The Demon King recognized the magic attacks, magic bullets, meaning otherworld crossers had arrived. Since there wasn't much danger, Satan decided to head home, but when he got there, he noticed Emmy was still following him. Was this woman planning a midnight sneak attack? At that moment, Amelia froze with an embarrassed look. Who would have thought the hero would one day save the Demon King? Feeling a little soft-hearted, the Demon King brought her inside and even generously gave her yen-s travel fare. The next day, Amelia received a mysterious call. It was the same person who attacked last night. They not only knew both her and the Demon King's true identities, but also swore to wipe them out completely. While the hero worked hard every day, the Demon King had fallen headfirst into the world of dating. Today, he was on a date with Chiho, who even shyly reached out to hold his hand. Oh my, things were getting out of control at the cafe. Shioen told the Demon King that she had recently been hearing strange voices, and he guessed they were special sound waves from another world that caused earthquakes when transmitted to Earth. He gently comforted her, saying, "Don't be afraid, I'm here with you," which moved Xiaoqin deeply. And just as she was about to confess her feelings, Amelia suddenly logged in and interrupted them, warning, "Girl, listen to me. This Demon King is way too dangerous for you." Xiaoqin thought Amelia was an ex trying to steal her man, sparking an intense confrontation between the two girls. But before things escalated further, the earth began to shake violently and the entire building collapsed, though thankfully no one was injured. Amelia tried to use magic to help Xiaoqian stay conscious, and because the Demon King had absorbed human fear, he transformed back into his true demonic form. Yet instead of attacking the hero, he smashed through walls to rescue people nonstop, leaving Amelia shocked that such a notorious demon would save lives. Watching the scene unfold, Amelia, who had crossed over to Earth, grew confused and remembered her childhood on a peaceful farm with her father, until one day the church took her away and told her she was not an ordinary person but a child of angels. And soon after, her father's village was destroyed by the Demon King's army. Ever since then, she saw him as pure evil. Now, seeing him save people shook her faith, and the next day she visited his home to demand answers and to return the $1,000 she had borrowed. After all, a hero borrowing money from a Demon King was humiliating, but as she was leaving, she tripped and fell down the stairs again, breaking down in frustration and shouting, "Why do you treat everyone on Earth with warmth, but in our world you slaughtered humans?" The Demon King, watching her cry, could only apologize silently, admitting he never truly understood humans or even himself and had done terrible things. Feeling betrayed, Xiaoqian screamed, "You two really are a couple," and ran away, crying, leaving the three stunned. Just then their mysterious landlord Xiao appeared and shockingly revealed that she knew the true identities of all of them. She warned the Demon King that if he didn't go after Xiaoan quickly, something irreversible might happen, but they were too late. A moody young man full of edgy energy had already kidnapped Xiaoqian, and he was none other than Lucifil, one of the Demon King's 4 generals, now working alongside the hero's former priest Orba, who betrayed Amelia in pursuit of greater power. The Demon King scoffed at such a cliché betrayal plot, saying even bad movies wouldn't write this garbage. Mention of movies made Michelle furious. "You watch a movie without me, you shameless freeloader. Do you know how hard I work every day?" But right then a magic blast hit her, knocking her down, and in her final breath she muttered, "Movies are half price on the first of every month. Don't forget." Lucifil absorbed negative emotions to fuel her magic, and with both of them severely injured, they tried to flee but were soon captured. Orba then opened fire shamelessly from behind, and though times had changed, facing an ambush from both sides, the Demon King used the last of his power to warp space and escape with Amelia to the collapsed train station from yesterday. But before they could catch their breath, Lucifel found them again and blasted the Demon King through the chest, leaving him motionless on the ground. Gloating, Lucifel unleashed her ultimate move, blowing up the overpass in front of the station to feed off human despair and regain her strength. What she didn't expect was that the Demon King could also absorb this negative energy. Soon he resurrected, fully healed. Amelia summoned her sacred sword using the last of her divine artifacts' power, and the Demon King even cast a protective barrier to avoid hurting civilians. A massive battle was about to begin, and Amelia charged straight at Lucifel, determined to return the favor, but without a restored artifact she couldn't match Lucifel's power. Thankfully, a fully recovered Michelle arrived in time and rescued her. With the two of them teaming up, they quickly overpowered Lucifel. Meanwhile, the furious Demon King unleashed his ultimate move, delivering a brutal beating to Lucifel. After the dust settled, the Demon King finally revealed his true identity to Xiaoqin, and she was touched by his honesty. Her affection for him shot up to the hero's two companions also arrived on Earth after receiving word, while Lucifel, now defeated and renamed Qing Yuan, became a sponsor living at the Demon King's house, responsible for gathering intel online about how to recharge magical power on Earth. But when the Demon King returned home the next day, he found both Michelle and Qinwan collapsed on the ground. Who could possibly harm two demon generals? At the same time, a trembling Michelle warned him, whatever you do, don't open that envelope. It contains something even demons fear. It was the landlord. Xiaoma's irresistible sexiness. Have you heard of the 7 campus horror legends? A blood-soaked statue walking at midnight, cursed books hidden in the library. Qing Yuan, a hacking genius, quickly discovered a terrifying rumor about the abandoned school nearby. It was said demons might be hiding there. Coincidentally, Xiaoqin attended that school, and from her the Demon King learned that eerie roars sometimes echoed from a classroom no one could open, and shadows of demons would appear in the windows. Xiaoqin bravely volunteered to lead them there to investigate. As they explored, she recounted other ghost legends on the upper floors, sending shivers down Satan Little Star's spine. Even the Demon King was scared of ghosts. Just then Qingwen called and suggested that the sealed classroom might contain a portal that could replenish magic. No wonder she was one of the most reliable 4 generals. Suddenly, a terrifying presence surged forth, and the Demon King and Michelle immediately prepared for battle. Michelle even grabbed Zhao's swimsuit cover-up as a charm, but to their surprise it was just Amelia, who had secretly followed them, fearing the Demon King would do something reckless again. After a loud commotion, they finally arrived at the sealed classroom and opened the door, only to find signs that someone had been living there for a long time. And in the center of the room, a gaming console sat proudly. Just then Qingwen's voice rang through the phone again. Thanks, Demon Bro, for helping me find my console. Turns out she and Orba had once activated a portal. Here the girl had once passed through a teleportation gate and lived in this world for a while, but when she left, she accidentally left her gaming console behind, so she investigated the rescue team just to ask the Demon King to retrieve it for her. How ridiculous. The Demon King was furious, and the consequences were serious. Meanwhile, hero Amelia received a package from her subordinates containing a man-made holy artifact, which instantly boosted her confidence. She decided to pay the Demon King a visit to see if he had been behaving lately, only to find a cute girl alone in his house. Shocked that the Demon King was secretly flirting behind Cheese's back, Amelia rushed forward to investigate, but ended up falling down the stairs again. Thankfully, the Demon King caught her just in time. The girl's name was Lynn, a new neighbor who had just moved next door and was apparently a great cook. Before leaving, Amelia warned Line not to get close to that guy. Then, as expected, she performed another flawless trip and fall act, living up to her title as the sole divine sort of justice. Meanwhile, a new KFC opened across from the Demon King's part-time job, sparking intense competition, and the Demon King was temporarily appointed as acting manager. During lunch, she noticed the Demon King brought a homemade lunchbox. Her sixth sense told her it was definitely made by some girl pressured by cheese dominance. The Demon King reluctantly opened the first layer of the bento. Not impressive, but then came the second layer, a sweetheart-shaped meal, leaving Chi completely defeated. That evening, Amelia encountered a mysterious figure and summoned her holy sword in defense, but the assassin wielded a death scythe, and the purple light in his eyes nullified her sword's power. Luckily, a store clerk arrived in time and scared off the assassin with paintballs. The next day, Chi brought Amelia to the Demon King's house to spy. Sure enough, Lynn was there again, and even preparing a lavish dinner. Did she think she was the lady of the house? Already the peaceful dinner table was full of tension, and as everyone chatted about Lynn's job hunt, the clueless Demon King invited her to work at McDonald's. Seriously, are you trying to spark a war with the Holy Church? Samuel suggested. The girls helped Lynn pick out clothes, and Amelia happily agreed. On the way home, she confessed her feelings to the Demon King. She didn't care about his identity as the Demon King. She would like him no matter what, but her confession was overheard by Lynn, who was passing by, and metaphorically died on the spot. Amelia later arranged to meet Lynn at the station, only to discover she was an airhead who couldn't use modern tech and had never ridden a train. How did she even get here? I came through a boat portal, she said cheerfully. Turns out she was also from Aina Isla, but her true identity was shocking. She was the head of the Inquisition Council, a secret assassination unit that eliminates threats to the church. She had come here hoping to team up with the hero to kill the Demon King and return to correct the church's misguided ways, but Amelia refused. Defeating the Demon King was the hero's responsibility. She warned Lynn not to act recklessly or she'd get herself killed by the Demon King. So what does this fearsome Demon King do in the human world? Conquer it, slaughter people? Nope. At that moment, the Demon King was getting scolded by his boss because the rival KFC across the street had taken all the customers. Manager Yamazaki warned him if business didn't improve, he'd be exiled to Greenland. The Demon King was given permission to use any method to crush the competition. Then a blue-haired man named Sanua, the manager of that KFC, visited McDonald's clearly to pick a fight before leaving. The cheeky Sanu even flirted with Cheeky. The Demon King, never one to take insults, lightly dispatched his elite guard, Michelle, to investigate. He also unleashed various marketing stunts, fruitless burgers, free restrooms for passers-by, all sorts of gimmicks, but None worked. In desperation, he brought out his trump card, a giant bamboo tree. For the Tana batted a festival where customers could write down wishes. It worked. Crowds poured in, and the Demon King's job was saved because of his stellar performance. He was sent to a branch on Vice Island. From online research, they learned it was hosting a super popular haunted house attraction, and she guessed they might be able to absorb human fear to restore their powers. She invited the top wing woman, Amelia, to join, and upon overhearing them, Lynn decided to tag along. Looking at her plain chest, she sighed. It didn't even compare to a regular hamburger. Lynn is just a fool. Ignore her, someone muttered. In the end, the Demon King earned a 5-star review from the manager, but since he was so obsessed with work, the board, she, and crew decided to explore the haunted house. It was creepy and full of eerie tension. The moment she looked up, boom, jump scare. Meanwhile, Lynn came across a lost little girl. Even the mighty hero was easily defeated by a haunted house, so the three of them opted for a relaxing visit to a reptile exhibit instead. On the way, they even met a monkey with a fetish for big brannies due to a zookeeper's mistake. Some crocodiles escaped their cages, and the amusement park descended into chaos. Just then, the Demon King appeared, dramatically absorbing the fear of the crowd and chanting a magical spell that scared the crocodiles away. Lynn was stunned. Why would he use such hard-earned power to save humans? Her view of the world was shaken. That evening, on her way home, Lynn, lost in thought, spotted a suspicious figure at the opposite train platform. He had angel wings, since the Demon King spent almost all his time working, only eating and sleeping in between. His sales and public speaking skills had reached legendary levels. Landlady Sia asked him to sell foreign goods at a charity market, and he pulled it off in a single day, leading everyone to success. His efficiency was god tier. That night, the mysterious figure found Linny and asked her to kill the Demon King before he could regain full power. Remembering the disasters he brought to their world, Lynn hesitated no more. She decided to assassinate him that very night and told